Okay, listen. I'm gonna hold you by your nose hairs when I say this, okay? Let me just set your nose better, okay? There we go. Ew! Dude, don't you know you're supposed to like shave your nose hairs every now and then? Why is your boogle so... Ugh! Anyways, listen. The reason you procrastinate, right? It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you don't have enough time in your day and you have to put this off till last minute. If that were the case, right? If those were the metrics that really matter, if that is the reason that you are procrastinating, then you wouldn't be doing some of your best work at the end of the procrastinator cycle. It wouldn't be the case that when you put the work that you do, when you kind of try to plan it out properly and then everything kind of works out in like a timely manner and it feels like you're actually doing what you're supposed to do at the right time. Why in most situations, right? Why is it that you actually find that your work looks worse when you actually put that kind of planning in? It's because... Are you listening? Okay. It's because, right, you love it. And don't lie to me. Put it in... All right, maybe you don't want to put it in the comments, but we're going to kind of follow me here now. You love the rush and knowing that the stakes are on you. You love knowing that your back's against the wall. There's a couple of minutes left on the clock. Maybe it's a day. Maybe it's like 5 to 6 or 7 hours left. And all you have to pretty much do now is lock in and do what you need to. Because during that stage of you, like, sitting and doing other things, at least in my mind, right, in the background, I'm still thinking about the ways to approach it. So it's not like I'm fully doing the whole project at the last moment. I'm still like thinking about it. And if you know anything about projects, typically when you like think through the project, thinking about it is pretty much like half the battle. So I was even like putting this in a ChatGPT of like, how I was gonna like approach it and all that. But I'm just gonna do it off the cuff mainly here. All right. So there is also a bad side to this, because procrastination can actually cause you to get into some problems, which it has done for me recently. I'm gonna show you how it actually kind of worked out kind of badly for me. All right. So one of the books that I have, I had in pre-order on Amazon, Phraseborn. It's pretty much a book about using phrases and language in a way that can actually activate certain powers. So it's like speechcraft, if that makes sense, right? So I had it on pre-order, and I made the mistake. Well, let's call it a mistake. I made the decision actively to put it off until last minute. And what that led to... Wait a second, let me pull up the email here. All right, still not really loading. Give me a second. Let me just... All right, so finally. All right, so if you look at the 1, 2, 3, the fifth thing here, you see that your pre-order has been canceled. So let me just click on that. This is from May 27. So I thought that I had more time in the day to kind of upload it to, like, upload the final manuscript to Amazon. But it turns out that my phone's data, because I'm using a ZTE, like the basic model that kind of freezes up, decided that it was going to work against my procrastinative powers and pretty much ruin my life, because it has resulted in me not being able to upload any ebook on pre-order for like a year. So Phraseborn, an awesome book in my opinion. I made it, so I'm going to say that. But because of my procrastinativity, I guess that is that a word? I don't know. I have been put in the position now because I was trying to like upload it. I was having issues with like the file format, and that's when I actually got into the KDP dashboard. Before, like, sometimes I like got in, and when I was trying to re-upload it, sometimes it wouldn't even load. Like, I even turned it into like the same day, like the day off, I turned it into like a TikTok video series. So, that's my level of procrastination. You need to get on my level of procrastinativity, as I mentioned. But so I'm saying this to say that I could have, worked on uploading it before, and I think I even did like a couple of days before. But I said, nah, I still have some time. Not knowing that the day off, I'd end up like pretty much losing entire privileges for like a year. And it's not like I had to do it this way. It's just habit, and I take full accountability for this happening to me. And if you want to laugh at me in the comments, you can. If you want to read this book, I'm going to show you where you can still get it, because I decided not to upload it to Amazon since it's kind of a very sore point for me right now still, even though it's been it's like the 1st of July today. But what I'm going to do is pretty much tell you one more time to reiterate this. Let me hold your nose hairs again. Have you cleaned your nose at least a little? All right, let me just. Oh my! You need to get better at this. Ugh. All right. So I'm saying all this to say, you procrastinate for the reason that you feel like you're the MC, right? And everything is on your shoulders. You finally feel that adrenaline pumping. You like the feeling of your back being against the wall. Just please don't, make sure you have everything kind of in place, so you don't end up where when you're finally ready to upload everything, then the system is going to be giving you glitches. And if that's the case, maybe you want to take like screenshots and try to resolve the issue. But Phraseborn is right here, so you can get it on Gumroad. I'm going to put the link in the description below. And we know that you're probably supposed to be doing an assignment right now, or putting in some project in the final stages, but you're working on watching this video right now, which I thank you for. But if you want to support the channel, go ahead and get yourself one of these. It's on Gumroad. If you have a stutter, you can get speech strain. This one is what happens if how COVID kind of came and made a lot of people lose like their sense of taste and smell. This one takes that concept and says, what if it caused you to also stutter? So it's pretty much a web novel around the premise of understanding what it's like to stutter beyond the just telling you to like have patience with the person who stutters. Like me, at least you can probably hear that I have a stutter. I tend to talk fast too. So that's where this kind of came from. And funny enough too, Phraseborn actually has the MC that you're seeing here. She actually has a stutter, so it kind of affects her being able to do her word craft also in interesting ways. And this one actually ties in a lot of the memes that have happened over the years too. So if you want to read that, go ahead. If you want to get everything here, I'd appreciate it also. Deathbound Arena is pretty much all right. So how when you die, oftentimes if you die suddenly, you may have some regrets or some things you want to get sorted out before you had died instantly. This pretty much takes that concept and expands upon it. So the way that you died pretty much is going to give you the power set you're going to be getting is going to be directly tied to that. And also you're going to be transported to this world where you're going to be tossed into the Deathbound Arena, where you pretty much will be fighting other people who died, and everybody has their own mental hang-ups. It's a dark fantasy, and you pretty much, you get a pretty interesting telling of their fight, and whoever wins that battle will get a wish, where they can get either that thing resolved, or they can maybe, have a wish fulfilled that they always wanted to get fulfilled. All right. If you're more interested in wrestling, there is Project Wrestle World, which is what happens when, how do I put this? The leader of the US or the free world is actually a wrestling fanatic and decide to like turn everything wrestling related. So what that means is he pretty much, how do I put this now? He kind of changes the laws and how everything kind of works so that people, every dispute that you can have and everything will be kind of wrestling related. So if you're going to be doing a divorce, instead of just going to the courts and all that, you're going to pretty much be fighting in a pro wrestling style for the divorce settlement to happen. There's also like diplomatic relations. So how does international relations work in that context, right? So like Canada losing their maple syrup rights because of this, and countries like wanting to cheat the system by using wrestlers to like gain certain better privileges, and it's kind of nice in that way. If you like more like gritty wrestling stories, you have Pin Me Pay Me. That's like a jobber story, but it's an interesting take on the jobbers. So in wrestling, you have these guys that never really get to the top, never really have the chance to become like mega stars, or like never really become like John Cena-esque or Randy Orton's. So this one kind of takes that in-between space within the wrestling industry and kind of expands it and gives you like that true underdog story. Not just like when John Cena would play like the underdog and say, even though he's the face of the franchise, still somehow he's the underdog. No. This takes a true underdog, someone who will never really have fans, never really have merch, never really get a chance to fight for trophies, as literally like an empty showcase with like cobwebs everywhere. And it kind of takes them, and for different reasons, they never really get to be beyond just, the enhancement talent, pretty much. Ring General, this one is a bit creepy. Well, not creepy up until like the later chapters. I'm not going to really spoil it, but it pretty much follows Benny and his journey to become kind of a tyrant. And, let me not even put it that way. So he... referees in general in wrestling, they pretty much are responsible for making sure the talent is okay. They have to be able to make calls and judgments and listen to they typically have like an earphone in their ear, and they're listening to like what's going on in the back. So they'll pretty much hear what's the suggestion from the production team and what should be done, and sometimes they have to make calls on the fly also. So this is what happens when that guy is kind of power hungry, or develops that power hungriness, and starts to make decisions himself. So it's a slow descent into madness. And yeah, the House of Many Wings, it's about sentient wasps that take over a house, and it's also so the owner of the house, Marcus, he comes back and finds that the house is pretty much taken over by wasps, and he has to he's a call center agent, so he has to pretty much use his call center skills to help him to be able to deal with that. So if you're going to procrastinate anyway, you can go ahead and get some of these to make your procrastination a bit more interesting. So yeah, go ahead, and if you want to get all of them, that's fine. If you want to read like chapter 1 to 3 of Speech Train Free, you can. It's right there. But yeah, so go ahead. If you're going to procrastinate more, do it in style. Get yourself something from here. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead, procrastinate a bit more, and then get to work. All right.